Hi, sweet ones, and welcome back to this week's episode of Embodied Divinity. Let's settle in with a big, deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Like the tide moving in and out, let yourself land here with me. This week, I've been traveling with my mom. We are, as you're listening to this, we are in Charleston, South Carolina, and we have the cutest little trip. And if you've ever traveled with family, you know it's not always easy. There are old roles and old hurts and old expectations that come with us like luggage. And for years, I carried those bags heavy on my back. I expected her to show up in ways she just didn't have the capacity to, and I wanted her to see me fully and to hold space for who I really am. And it's kind of been this ongoing thing. The older my daughter gets in the way that I parent her, the resentment would build and the expectations would build because I knew what kind of mother I was and I knew I deserved the same. But I had to just start seeing my mom for who she was. And about 5 years ago, I really grieved the fact that I would never have the mother that I wanted and started on this journey of accepting her for who and how she is now. And that's what I did on this trip. I decided to go with her as a friend, not her daughter, to release the weight of that expectation, to meet her just as she is, and to let myself be as I am. I wanted to be playful and open and willing to laugh and wander and get lost. And I think that travel has a way of doing that. It opens new portals. It doesn't even have to be a big trip. It can be a walk through a new neighborhood or a drive with no destination, even sitting in a new cafe. But over the years, I've really learned that any movement between worlds expands the map in your mind and it disrupts the patterns of stagnancy and it resets the energy. When you step onto new ground, your body knows it. You've entered another timeline. You've left behind the familiar and open to new possibility. If any of you play video games or have in the past or have someone who does, when you go to new maps or new places, you open up this whole new realm with all new side quests and all new characters. And we do that same thing to ourselves when we travel out of our comfort zone. I know for me, it's so easy. I have to schedule many trips throughout the year because I love being home, especially I'm a 6'2" manifester and my hermit mode hermits hard. I love my alone time. I love my isolation. But staying in the same home, in the same area of town all day, every day, really creates stagnancy in the energetic field. And we are meant to flow and expand. And so it's really learning your own patterns and your own ways of being. And if you are a big traveler or already have lots of movement and don't like to be in hermit mode like I do, then start noticing as you travel, as you adventure to these new places, the things that open up, the possibilities that come in, the different downloads that you feel and see. That's the magic of travel. Whether it's across an ocean or across town, travel is an initiation. It's a portal. It's an invitation to let go of the old and step into the new. And collectively, we are in one of those thresholds right now. September always carries this liminal feeling, especially with eclipse season upon us. It's not quite summer, it's not quite fall, not the heat of August, not the cool of October. We are in between. An eclipse season is calling us to activate, to release all of the old, to open to all of the new, to really tune into this new frequency and this timeline. And being in that space can feel uncomfortable. You might feel restless, like you want to leap forward, or exhausted, like you want to collapse back, or just confused, not knowing which direction to face. But this is exactly where the magic lives, in the in between, the liminal space, the threshold. It's here in the pause, in the rainstorm, in the layover, in the waiting that transformation stirs. And it's a really powerful thing when we can be intentional with that space. Last week, when we talked about the unicorn energy, it was this really deep, intentional way of living, creating rituals, creating vows to ourselves. And it's those structures and those rituals and those vows that serve us in this liminal space. And it's really exciting to sink into that, to knowing that you have the ability to create structure in the flow. That structure that we created last week, first from the fire of the dragon energy, which really initiated us, which created all of this power, right? Then we created structure around it with the unicorn energy, with these rituals and initiations. And today we're stepping into the mermaid archetype. We're creating a beautiful riverbed for the waters to flow down. The mermaid is the embodiment of the liminal energy, not land, not sea, not human, not spirit. She is both. She is in between. And I've learned a lot as I sank into her. And it was just perfect that as this mermaid came up, I was traveling and it's been complete downpours almost the whole time we were here, except for Saturday when we got to explore Sullivan's Island and have a beautiful beach day and the sun was shining. And we were on the shore and I was in and out of the water. And I really got to embody that sacred flow of the mermaid. And here's some things I learned about the mermaid archetype. Number one, the mermaid lives between worlds. They teach us that we don't have to choose just one identity or one role or one shore. We can be both. We can belong to the mystery. This is the medicine of liminal spaces, not rushing to resolve or forcing clarity too soon, but really letting yourself linger at the threshold. I love creating alter egos where I can be someone else and sink into someone else that I want to become because it gives me this new kind of bravery, this new kind of frequency. And it's kind of like playing pretend until it isn't anymore. And the liminal space is the perfect spot for experimentation. I think I see the most people suffer in the liminal space when they're constantly trying to go back to how they were or fitting into old habits or old routines that no longer serve them. And that's why last week with the unicorn energy, we created rituals based on how we wanted to feel. And this week, we get to really experiment with that liminal space, going with the ebb and flow and taking on whole new roles and new ways of being. The other thing I learned about the mermaid was the powerful gift of surrender. Water doesn't fight, it flows, and it shapes mountains by yielding. It carries ships in a really cool rhythm. I got to watch a lot of sailboats and boats just move through the water. But when we resist the tides of our lives, we suffer. When we surrender, we are carried. This week's surrender might look like walking in the rain instead of cursing it. It might look like laughing with your mom instead of bracing for a trigger. It might look like letting go of the need to control how it all unfolds. The mermaid whispers to us, let the tide take you where you need to go. Mermaids and fish and sea creatures of all kinds move with the waters. They're in a sacred rhythm with it. And when we can surrender, we can move in that sacred rhythm too. The other thing that's really powerful about the mermaid archetype is that they carry a warning. In the myth, sirens lure sailors to their death with beautiful songs. And this teaches us about illusion. We all have siren songs, distractions, temptations, the pull of old patterns. And the trick is not to deny desire, but to discern, is this song my soul's truth or a trap? The question becomes, am I moving toward myself or away from myself? Mermaids call us to discernment. to listen deeply, and to know which songs are true. So you can see how all the archetypes we've moved through so far are building upon one another. We've let the fire erupt. We've let it dissolve the illusion. We've let it melt all of the old away. We created miracles with the scales. Last week, we got into beautiful magic and ritual with the unicorn, really allowing us to be in truth and integrity with ourselves and what our soul wants. And this week, we are learning how to discern, how to move toward that with surrender and flow, and really being okay in this liminal space as we experiment and play. So, some practices that you can do to really get there are number one, listen for your true song. You can ask yourself what it feels like when your true song arrives. When a desire or an invitation or a thought arises, pause and ask, is this a siren's illusion or my soul's song? I find that a lot of times the old way of being or the comfort zone can come with these beautiful songs and these old promises. But when we really tune in, we see that our soul really doesn't want to go back to that old way. It's calling for something new. And this is a moment to discern. So place a hand on your heart and really wait for your body to answer. Truth feels steady. It feels calm and warm, and illusion feels frantic, sometimes anxious and urgent. So remember that as you move forward with this energy. Number two, let triggers be waves. Traveling with family for me made me realize that I could resist the trigger like a really hard wave coming in, or I could move with it. And you can do the same thing. Instead of gripping, imagine each trigger you might encounter this week as a wave. Let it rise, crest, and fall. No, you don't have to hold it. You only have to let it pass. You don't have to control it. You don't even have to learn from it. You just have to let it be and let it move through you, and then return to your center, your ground, your surrender. The other thing that you can do to embody this energy is to savor joy as devotion. Walk in the rain, taste the food, laugh without apology. These small joys are sacred acts of devotion. The mermaid reminds us that pleasure itself is holy. Finding whimsy, whether you're on land or in water, whether you're in the old world or the new, whether you're in that liminal in between. Find joy, find pleasure, find whimsy, and let it all be sacred. The mermaid wants us to know that we are not stranded between shores. We are the tide itself. You're not lost in the in-between. You are the in-between. You are the threshold and the bridge and the song. It's all you. So as you walk through this week, let yourself flow. Let yourself surrender. Let yourself discern the true songs from the illusion. And most of all, let yourself taste joy, because joy is devotion. The sea is inside of you. Every breath, every wave, every tide. You aren't waiting for land. You're not waiting for rescue. You are already both the land and the sea. You are the song and the tide. This liminal space doesn't have to be scary. And as always, with all of the weekly teachings, I'm creating as much structure and guidance as possible for you. On Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, there will be an in-depth Substack article if you're subscribed. It'll have lessons and embodiment practices and just shares from my own journey. I also post notes all throughout the day on Substack that keep you inspired and aligned. And then on Wednesday will be a mermaid activation to really help you sink into this surrender energy. All of it is here to serve you as we move through these archetypes together and really embody each and every aspect of ourselves. And especially doing it as a collective is such a fun way to harness that powerful energy and to also create healing throughout humanity, as so many that maybe aren't choosing these paths, our collective energy goes out into the ethers and creates a ripple of healing for so many others. And so I want to thank you for that, for being here, journeying with me, walking with me in this sacred and intentional devotion. It can be such a powerful thing as we walk together. And if you're looking for support that you can hold in your hands, on the link wherever you're listening to this, you can find my book, Breathe Deep and Plan on Miracles, the Inner Child Oracle cards, and the Inner Child Guidebook that'll help you move through some of that heavier stuff while also reminding you that you are pure love, source consciousness, having this human experience. More than anything, I want you to know that I love you. I'm walking right here with you. As always, breathe deep and plan on miracles. Talk soon.